a senior in the program. What's going on, guys? How we doing? It's great to see you, David. Let me ask you this. Last year was the best year that you've had with Dartmouth, and you lose two of your top four guys coming out of that. How do you sustain the momentum moving forward with this group that you have right now?
Yeah, you set lofty goals, set real goals. We have a player-led group, which I think is really important. There's so much, outside the offices, off the court, that coaches can't take care of. And I feel like with this guy and his two fellow seniors, we have a strong captain unit and a real player-led group. So when you have lofty goals and you try to live up to your standards every day, individually and collectively, that's all you can do. And then hopefully the talent takes over, the competitiveness takes over, and execution on the court takes over.
Dave, great to see you, man. Wish it was in
You too.
person, but this'll have to do. Brandon, great to meet you. And man, you had a hell of a year last year. I mean, talk about leading the Ivy in rebound and having a 23-point, 20 rebound game against Brown. First Ivy League player to do that. I don't know, it was over a decade. I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest surprise for me with you guys was a freshman point guard in Connor Edmondson coming through and doing what he did. Did it surprise you last year? And what have you seen out of Connor before we talk about you and what you want to do to improve your game from last year to this year? What have you seen from Connor from last year to this year?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it surprised me at all. I got a similar question after our Ivy League Madness game. But the work he puts in is unmatched. He probably has one of the greatest work ethics I've ever seen, and he's very intentional of how he takes care of his body and how he plays on the court. So I wouldn't say his performance last year was surprising at all. But I think he still has room to grow. Obviously, he's a freshman, still has things to learn, still has to go through some things, and I think it's the sky's the limit for him.
Hey, Dave,
What's the
let me
next step
follow up
this
with
year?
you on that. As the coach watching Connor, again, freshman point guards, man, that's not easy. We know that to come into college basketball. What surprised you, if anything, about him, and what have you challenged him with in the offseason?
Yeah, I think what surprised me is how easy the decision was. I remember coming into the office one day and we kind of just talked about it as a staff. There were 5 or 6 of us in a room, and it was kind of an easy discussion. I said, "Yeah, guys, it looks like we're going to be starting a freshman," and everyone said, "Yeah, it looks like it." And he made the decision very easy in practice. And Brandon's absolutely right. His approach, the way he approaches things, the way he competes, the way he doesn't take possessions off. I think the biggest thing we've challenged him with is his voice and his leadership, and having that. It's not just about being tough. It's not just about playing super hard and executing. It's about, okay, what's your voice? What's it like in the huddles? Are you an extension of the coaching staff in practice? Are you an extension of the coaching staff to the team in games? And that's probably been the biggest thing that I've talked to him about.
Brandon, you look at the trajectory of your career at Dartmouth, and you start out and you have a good freshman season. You're a starter as a sophomore, average 9.6 boards, and last year it all kind of came together for you, right? You averaged 13.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, tossed in almost 3 assists a game just for good measure as well, because why not? What happened last year that allowed it to click, and then where is the next step in your game going to end up being this season? What are we going to see new from you this year?
I think just the trajectory of my career has really just been the development I've gone through being a part of the Dartmouth program. I mean, freshman year, was able to play against some great guys, and then sophomore year was given more opportunity to build off of, and then I think junior year, I just found that confidence in myself, and I think my teammates also had confidence in me, and that just allowed me to take that other step. Looking on to this season, I think just the 3-point shot and just shooting in general is what's going to make my game open up and be even better. And I'm excited about it. I mean, like I said before, the confidence my teammates have in me is what's been pushing me to get better and better. And I think this group, in terms of confidence, is one of the most confident groups we've had. So I'm excited.
So, Brandon, just to give you a little background on how we prepare for these media days, when there's going to be a player that we're going to be talking to, like I'll Google the name, and normally that'll bring up like the ESPN bio, and it'll bring up the Dartmouth bio that you have, and it'll bring up any, kind of like On3 or 24/7 Sports or whatever it is bio that you have. And when I Googled your name, your LinkedIn popped up, and I was like, oh, that doesn't happen that often. So I clicked on it, and you are a second team all Ivy League player. You're a guy that's about to have a Dartmouth degree. You are very accomplished in the world of basketball. And the only thing that you had listed on your resume on LinkedIn was that in the summer of 2022, you were a cashier at Dick's. I think it's about time we start improving on what that LinkedIn is, man. Come on, give yourself some credit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a busy couple of years, so I haven't really updated the LinkedIn. But I, like you said, I think there is some things I can add to it. But I think that just speaks to where my focus has been the past couple of years. So
Well, yeah,
All right.
listen, man, you
How
average
about
14
adding?
points a game.
How about adding the
Well, he
clothing
averaged 14
company?
points a game, 8 rebounds in the Ivy League, and the only thing it has for your skills is my ability to provide customer service. Okay, I think it's a little bit more than customer service, man.
I got you. I got you.
Brandon, how about adding the clothing company, some of the other things you're doing that you can expand on right now that you've done over the last couple of years that have kept you busy? And I think that's honestly, it's the most fun that we have with the Ivy League, to be honest. I mean, again,
Mhm.
I grew up in Boston. I've covered Harvard for years, and the teams coming in. And the beauty of it is, how well-rounded you guys are, how much you guys are able to do beyond basketball. I know that probably at times frustrates some of the coaches, but expand a little bit on the clothing venture and some of the other things that you've done.
Yeah, so especially being at Ivy League schools, you're surrounded by so many people that have so many different ideas, right? So me wanting to do marketing and get into something along the lines of that post basketball, of course. I had many conversations with many professors, many students, and I decided to make a clothing company. The name of the clothing company is Dualis, which stands for two-sided or twofold in Latin. And really, the idea behind it was really my journey as an athlete, as a student athlete. Us as collegiate athletes have so many things we deal with on and off the court that aren't just the athletics itself. So, in terms of that two-sided story, that's where the name came from. It really originated from me and my roommate having late night conversations about, I mean, academics, whether it's mental health, family stuff, personal stuff, family stuff. So I think just giving athletes or anyone that considers themselves an athlete a platform to express themselves in that way was important, and decided to do it through a clothing company. So
You making some money yet, Brandon? Or not yet? You starting,
uh,
getting going.
not yet. We're still working on that, but
All right.
right now the
Okay.
focus is basketball, so that'll always come.
All right, Coach. We talked a little bit about Brandon and his game. We talked about Connor and his game. Who else do we need to know about? Give me a couple names of guys that you're expecting to step up and maybe fill a little bit of the void that you're going to have there with Ryan gone and with Cade gone.
Yeah, so Brandon's classmates, Jaden Williams and Jackson Monroe, all have played since their freshman year. Just really talented, terrific players. Both had phenomenal summers. As you guys well know, we don't train players in the summer here, but those guys definitely worked on their game and came back better players. They're proud of our junior class, Nico Abusar and Ben Brown and Pat Tivnan. They've also had really good summers and have really shown in practice so far. And then besides Connor, Kareem Thomas and Cam McNamee from our sophomore class, who both had opportunity last year. They've shown a lot too, and they've shown they've really that they were willing to put the work in the summer, and they're working really hard on the court and really producing. We've had one scrimmage so far. We're pleased with the results of that. Gives us a lot of film to share with the guys. But overall, a lot of guys have really stepped up.
Yeah. How do you follow up? I mean, obviously last year, a huge year for you guys, taking a step forward, like you said, first Ivy Madness appearance. I mean, that's huge in just kind of getting that confidence of the group, isn't it, Dave? Kind of that core group that comes back knowing, they can win those games and get to the tournament and things like that. How important is that, for you and for this group?
Yeah, it's huge, and it starts the conversation we started last spring. This year is about playing at least two more games. right? Playing in the Ivy Championship and playing in the NCAA tournament. And we've talked about that a lot. Like, what is it going to take to play 2 more games? And there's so much work that needs to be done in the summer, in the preseason, practice now. But that's the mentality. And I mentioned before standards and us being a player-led group, and that really is the foundation for that, the want of playing 2 more games.
What's the what's the key for this group, Dave? If we look up in late February, if we look up in March, and you're right there competing for an Ivy regular season championship, what's the one thing that really has to happen for this group to be able to take that next step this year and put themselves in a position to be competing for a championship?
Yeah, I'd say outside of health, I'd say just continuous improvement. Like, we need to be a team that just stays on a certain trajectory the whole time during the year. I think the way we play, the way we want to defend, the tempo we want to play at, we need to keep ourselves healthy. And then I think we just need to continue to keep getting better and better. Every time we step on the court, it's not, oh, it's practice. No, it's time to get better. It's time to compete. Whether practice is 2 hours long or an hour long or whatever it is, we have to have that competitive nature to us throughout the entire year.
Hey, Dave, I'm 54. How old are you now?
51.
All right, you're 51. You turn 50. Once you hit 50, like, man, my back hurts now. My flexibility just is not what it used to be. But when you turn 50, nothing really happens to you, man. You're still flexible as the guy next to you. Look at this. Look at Dave McLaughlin there doing the split, Rob. Can you do a split?
No.
Brandon can't do one, right, Brandon? There's no chance you can do that. You'd be down for the count, wouldn't you?
Exactly, down for the count.
Crazy. Dave, how can you still do this at 51?
Just, I don't know, it's one of those things. It's just working your flexibility. These guys keep you busy. That's great. I don't know who from my staff do I have to fire for that picture. That's my question.
No, you should commend them. What do you mean, fire them? You should commend them. Every kid in the country is going to be looking at you being like, man, if the coach can do that, obviously the training program's pretty good here. I will say this, Dave. If there were a lineup of 365 Division I head coaches, and you told me to pick the one guy that could do a split, I would have picked you probably like 300 out of 365. So this was a shocking picture for as long as I've known you. I'm impressed, and I'm going to ask you where you go to do Pilates next.
No Pilates, just flexibility. That's all. That's awesome.
Don't you love when Goodman digs up all this dirt on people? You should have heard what he had on Hovde. It was bad. I thought
Yeah.
Kenny Nolan was about to transfer out of the program.
You got away. Hey, you got away lucky. I do want to ask you something serious, though. When I go out in the summer, especially, I hear all these coaches. I won't say their names, but they're all complaining about the state of the game right now, right? I mean, it's miserable. They got kids coming in, coming out, kids playing their fifth year for, fifth coach in the 5 years. The Ivy's different. We talked about the retention rate, over 60% this year. How different is it for you as a head coach? How much has changed over the last 5 years when we've seen, college basketball kind of on its head right now? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We've been able to retain our guys, and we have some talented players, right? So that they're going to have choices out there, but it hasn't changed drastically for us. I think what we've doubled down on is just relationships. Like, hey, you're going to be here for 4 years. We're going to develop you, and let's form great relationships. Not just, hey, pat you on the back, but let's have some serious conversations. What do you need help with? Like, where are you having trouble? Like, where can we get you better? I think what I've really learned is just doubling down on those, especially in the last 3 to 4 to 5 years. And I'm glad that we've done that. It's just, I think our relationships with the staff, staff to players, staff to staff, it's just more meaningful. And I really appreciate that as a coach, and how much time you devote to this job, this profession, this calling, whatever you want to say it is. But those relationships have really been rewarding. I don't want to sound cliche, but they really have. And I think it allows our guys to play their best basketball as well.
Yeah. Well, Dave, Brandon, we appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck this season. Brandon, best of luck on the clothing company, and make sure that once you get that thing off the ground, you put it on your LinkedIn profile, because people see it. People see it. LinkedIn matters in 2025, man. So appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck this year. Keep that flexibility up, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh,